I'm gonna call tonight's meeting to order at 6 p.m. If I can have everybody rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Miss Tammy, can you do a voice roll call, please?
Little trustee Val,
Present.
trustee Bosker,
Here.
trustee Byler,
Here.
trustee Manning,
Here.
trustee Mercer,
He possibly is running late due to work.
board chair Niskowitz,
Here.
vice chair Oldenburg,
Here.
trustee Ramsey.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you.
Moving on to item 2, public comment. Public comment at this time on the agenda is for individuals to comment on items that are not on today's agenda. These comments must be about public matters and cannot include any private matters. We ask that individuals keep their comments to 3 minutes. At this time, do I have any public comment?
Yes.
Please stand, state your name for the camera, please, and for the minutes.
My name is David Smith, and the purpose of my thing is, I was here a few months ago and talked about as far as money and what needed to be done as far as with the school board. And I don't know if any of the stuff has been done. And I know you were going to lose some students last year when we discussed this about, I think it was last March. And I'm just concerned as far as about the money side of it. And I don't know if any of the stuff, the audits or any of that stuff was done. I don't know if any kind of rebudgeting was done to take into the account as far as number of students that are coming into the school. And just wanted to see where this is going to go this evening. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Jessie Novak, I'm the art teacher. March is Youth Art Month, so this is my yearly little blurb about it. So Youth Art Month was founded in 1962 by the Council for Art Education at the national level, and it basically helps recognize arts in our school and supports arts school-wide across the country and abroad. Youth Art Month was designed to encourage support for quality school art programs and promote art material safety. And there's actually a bunch of events that go on around the country for Youth Art Month. We are participating in a show at the Capitol Building in Helena. So right now we have 4 student pieces up. That is the most that anybody was able to send for grades 6 through 12 hanging in the Capitol Building right now. So if you make it to Helena in the month of March, I highly recommend you go see that show. If not, I posted on a couple of different Facebook pages today the student artwork that was sent, as well as the link to the digital show for people who can't make the drive to Helena at the moment. A couple other things that we participated in this year that have been really cool is we actually were invited to participate in the Wide Open Art Show hosted at the University of Montana back in October. So we were able to send 7 pieces, K-12, which was also the maximum. We were actually one of the schools with the most amount of participation in that show, and that was up for NEA days, hanging up on campus. This is the 4th year for our art club, and we have 19 members this year, so our membership has been holding pretty steady since we started. Even with high school enrollment down, our numbers are staying up. And so students grades 7 through 12 have been working on art projects and fundraisers, including the movie night we just had, so thank you everyone for your support for that. High school art is actually taking a field trip in April. We typically participate in Montana Art Interscholastic. Unfortunately, it has been canceled for this year, so we're taking all of our high school artists who are eligible to Missoula to do art making activities, science activities throughout the city, just as a day trip. And we are prepping for our annual student show. This is year 6 for our student show, and we've actually expanded. So it's going to be K-12 art, shop, culinary, business and technology, as well as English. So we'll get journalism and creative writing students in there as well. So we'll be taking over the school from May 4th to the 14th, coinciding with the elementary and then the middle school, high school concerts. We'll have the culinary things in particular out, those concert nights, because those don't last very long. An unrelated update to the arts, but I am running our travel group. Just as a reminder, that group is school supported but not school sponsored, so we are operating outside of the school. But at the moment, we do have 9 students who are going to travel with us, as well as 4 adults who are committed to our trip. So we're going to go to England, France, and Italy next summer. We do have our first fundraiser coming up, and more information will come out soon. But we're going to do a family painting class and bake sale on April 22nd. Once I get times locked down, locations locked down, I will make sure to post an update on the Facebook pages. But thank you for supporting
you.
arts for this.
Yes, sir, Mr. Travis. Can you state your name for the camera and for the minutes, please?
This is Travis Baker. I'm with Harlow School Bus Service. Just touching bases with invitation I gave you guys last month, board meeting, just to bring any concerns that you would like to have us, or have me kind of put through to my boss regarding the contract. Any concerns that you would like to see addressed. Also, just give a update. The activity bus, as you guys might have heard, hit an elk on the way back from district tournaments. We have all the parts and pieces on order for it. It will be back before track starts. So you will have your regular activity bus back. So does anybody have anything that they would like me to put forward to my boss?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Good job.
kid back.
Thank you.
So,
Guess you got a thumbs up on it.
Any further public comment? Okay, at this time, we're moving on to reports. I'm first up on board reports. Mr. Ramsey, do you want to walk down to the showcase now?
I want to talk a little bit about the Adult Ed Showcase.
Okay.
Before we go down there.
Okay.
If we, that's
Yep.
right. Or do we want to do athletic director
Well,
report?
he's not here. Oh, sorry, Miss Corey, I
Corey's
apologize. I was, it says Mr. Haven, so,
Last minute change.
okay, go ahead.
As we know that winter sports have wrapped up, so that's basketball and everything's done there. We have spring sports coming in to play next week with baseball and track and softball. We're still cooperating with Thompson, and we're looking like we have about 7 girls that want to go in for softball. Then that's really about it for athletic stuff there. If you have any questions on Mutes games or anything like that, get a hold of Havens.
I have one question that's been brought to my attention. Refs, how do we find our refs?
We go through Arbiter, and then this one's kind of hard questions. I don't really deal with that side of it. That's more Matt's side.
Okay, I can email him, it's fine.
I might be able to help a little bit with that. Everything is handled through Arbiter Sports. What they're gonna do is they reach out to the head of pools. I'm in the Libby reffing pool for basketball, and so they will reach out to the head of pools and determine whether or not a specific pool can handle the request. And then if not, then they'll go to the next closest pool. Like I
Okay.
know sometimes you guys will have referees that come from Missoula if Libby is not able to fulfill your request. But I know that Libby tries to fulfill all of your guys' requests simply because most of the more senior ranking referees, appreciate the extra mileage.
And they have to pass a background fingerprint check
Yes,
and
they
all that
have
stuff.
to pass all of that, as well as they have to take like the concussion and sports training, and then they have to be NOA certified, and if it's for like junior varsity and varsity level, then they have to have so many years of experience, as well as they have to pass tests every single year.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Ramsey, the board.
Okay. For Adult Ed, we're wrapped up with Adult Ed. We've got, what's that? Oh, okay. We had a total of 17 classes offered. We had 264 people registered for classes. A lot of those people took multiple classes. We received 158 student feedback forms and 15 instructor feedback forms. Some of that feedback, 80% of it was positive feedback. Some of the suggestions mainly was requesting it to be longer. weeks of instruction, particularly for the pottery and the quilting and whatnot. They asked for like the quilting to have a larger space and that sort of thing. So we'll be looking through all of those requests. Overall satisfaction from the students was adult ed was excellent. They had an excellent experience this year. Communication was improved. Things went very well. They did give a list of 35 suggestions for classes for next year.
Sweet.
So we'll hold on to that and go through that and see if there are enough instructors and interest for those.
Okay.
But we do have the adult ed showcase going on right now in the gym. If we want to take a quick recess, walk down, walk through the adult ed showcase.
Yes.
Want to do that?
Yes.
Cool.
Miss Amy, can you please reflect on the record that we're gonna take a 10-minute recess to go to the showcase?
Noted.
Thank you.
Yeah, just
Alright, Miss Amy, call the meeting back to order at 6:24. Please note that Mr. Mercer is here present with us.
sorry.
Nope, you're good.
We were on a field trip.
Okay, so that was the adult ed showcase. We a lot of things happening this time of year. Coming up this week, we're doing the Missoula Children's Theater. Auditions were today, and practices are beginning this week. Show times will be Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 1 o'clock. We've got the STEAM Showcase coming up on March 19th. So our teachers and students have been working really hard getting their science STEAM projects put together, and judging will start on the morning of the March 19th, and the STEAM Showcase Awards will be in the gym at 6 o'clock that same evening. One of the things we've started doing in our elementary school to address our school spirit and attendance and promoting positive attendance is having monthly elementary assemblies. So we had our first one in February. We had 35 students with perfect attendance in the month of February out of our elementary. Our March focus will be on kindness, and so activities that are created by students to promote Missoula Children's Theater and the STEAM Showcase and school spirit. We've started doing early childhood education in the library. Our first one was in February here. We had 13 kids aged 18 months to pre-K show up and hear a story read. All of this is also tied into our literacy grant. Also part of that, we had our flat Stanleys start coming back in the upper elementary. Traveling stories have begun. So we're continuing to work with Side by Side Consulting on that. They're coming in monthly, taking us through professional development and that sort of thing. Currently, in the high school end, BPA is at the state competition in Billings today and tomorrow. So they always do a really good job in expecting several students to be able to go on to nationals in Nashville this year. We're also, instead of a college fair this year, we're going to be putting together a reality fair. This is being put on by Lucas MacArthur. He's doing a good job with it. Basically what a reality fair is, it's a reality simulation where students have the opportunity to go through different stations with a given career and determine what their livelihoods would look like in that career. They're given situations that will change their projections, like if you blew a tire and now you have to buy tires for your car or something. Then they sit with a budget specialist to discuss what happened and how they did, and then they will go get to choose their career path and once again go through the whole simulation. So we don't have a date for that yet, but as soon as we do, we'll let you know. New this year was House Bill 591, and that's also part of our policy 2100, which has to do, part of that is commemorative days, and by that House Bill and policy, to give a report on various commemorative days throughout the year. most recently was Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday. So there are several different activities happening in second grade. Students integrated the study of Abraham Lincoln into their biography and writing work. In fourth grade, they did a president research project, studying key facts and contributions of U.S. presidents. In the music class, fourth grade students participated in creative activity where they decoded rhythmic patterns from presidents' names and composed original songs. Fifth grade, they examined George Washington's leadership during the Revolutionary War. In secondary, in the high school, middle school and high school, eighth grade, U.S. history. They previously studied Abraham Lincoln during their Civil War unit, examining his leadership, policies, and role during that conflict. In 11th grade American history, students are currently studying the Civil War era and discussing Lincoln's leadership and policies and major speeches. But through all these activities, students engaged with the historical significance of Presidents Lincoln and Washington while practicing research and writing and music composition and historical analysis. So, a lot of things there. And so next year, as part of that policy, we'll have America Week or Freedom Week, the last full week of September, and we'll plan various activities for that. I talked last time about the Teacher Apprenticeship Grant. This is a grant from the Department of Labor and Industry, and this grant provides an opportunity for paraeducators to become teachers. So it's designed for people with little to no college who want to become a teacher. Universities will apply for that grant, and where I've been working with Western Governors University in order to provide some people for that. I've submitted the names of 4 of our paraprofessionals who've expressed interest in participating in that potential teacher apprenticeship program. WGU will then, I think they have until the 15th of this month to get that application submitted. If they are selected for the grant, the way that grant is currently structured, participating districts would be responsible for providing a $6,000 stipend for mentor teachers. Okay, those mentor teachers would support the apprentices in that program. However, the school administrators of Montana and WGU are actively working with the Department of Labor and Industry to explore options that would allow this stipend to be covered through grant funds rather than by district funds. I attended a Zoom meeting with multiple other universities and school administrators in Montana, and because in Montana we have so many small schools, almost all of us said, if it's a $6,000 stipend per mentor, per apprentice, we can't do it. And so we're putting a lot of pressure on through SAM and through WGU to get the Department of Labor and Industries to restructure the grant so that that stipend will not take such a big hit. They've already said that, okay, mentors can take up to 2 mentees. So one $6,000 stipend could be divided between, given to one mentor who's split between 2 mentees. They are trying to get it to where the mentorships can be pooled by neighboring districts, where we share cost or something like that. More information, we'll see if it works out to be able to bring some of our paraprofessionals into the teaching field. But the way it's structured now, like I said, I gave 4 names. There's no way we could do all 4, right, with that. So hopefully they get that restructured so that it works out in a more financially beneficial way for the districts. We just completed on Monday and Tuesday of this week our annual audit. We passed the audit. The MD&A, which is the management discussion and analysis, has been completed. We're still going through it. It's gonna take some time for the full audit report, but that typically gets done within a couple of months. Okay, so more information on that.
Not only passed, but no recommendations from the auditor.
No recommendations from
Right,
the
which I
auditor.
think is fantastic and
The
good job.
findings, they refer to it as findings.
No findings, correct, yeah.
Correct, there were
So-
no findings,
Fantastic job, thank you.
absolutely.
And then finally, the elementary roof update. This was an action item at our last meeting. We tabled it until we had some more information. So the estimate for the analysis from Northwest Roof Consultants came in, and I provided you with the packet that they provided there. And is Dan here?
I haven't seen it. I'll go look.
I found him. Come on, Chair.
Dan Bledsoe, Oxon Schools. So, in your reports, guys, you have some black and whites. If you wanna kind of filter these pictures around, it'll give you a colored version of what we're looking at there. So anyway, Ryan got back to us with some recommendations. The roof's being 42 years old. This is good for us, is the fact that it says it appears to be well maintained and kept free of debris to extend its service life. So we've done well over the 40 years of keeping that roof in service. So what he recommends that we do, and remember, these are only recommendations, is that they take the roof off down to the plywood. And that's one layer of EPDM, the rubber roofing, then take the insulation, or the gypsum board off. It has no insulation. And then take a look at that roof assembly to see if there's any problems like with water, rotting plywood, or anything like that that's gotten in over the years underneath that, and then replace that. So that's in that first little recommendation page there. And then he's talking about putting vapor retarder temporary roof, that 1.5 inches of poly, we're just gonna call it polyiso. And what that is, that's simply a foam board, but it's also an insulation board. For every 1 inch of that there is, and he's talking about 1.5 inches, that gives us 6 to 7 R value on the roof, of which we have nothing right now. So that would be a benefit on that side. Then go down with the gypsum board again, because that's a fire rated system, the gypsum board is. And then put the new product over the top of that. And there's several products, I'll get to those in a minute. One of the things that I found interesting, and it's a problem, when you look at our pictures, everywhere there's a patch, that's almost always where there's one of the screws that is holding down the sheetrock on the roof. And those are what come up. They work up, and then we catch them with the snow removal equipment, the snow blower and the shovels. So he's talking about putting the mechanical fasteners in the foam board and then gluing the sheetrock onto the foam board, and then the other product simply lays on top of it. The recommended roof covering is an 80 mil PVC. I looked at all of these today on the internet as much as I could to try to find out what they were. So that slip blast, which is down on the bottom of that page, that first page right there, no, flip over. Right there, it has 3 products on there that they were talking about. Slip blast, I can't find a lot on that. The Sitka Sarfenfill is PVC. So we have TPO, which is kind of like PVC, but not actually PVC. That particular product has up to a 50-year lifespan, looking at it. And the Fibertite is between 15 and 20. And it is like a fiber impregnated with PVC, but it does not have near the lifespan. Of course, the PVC, it will be the most expensive roof. Unless we look at it from now and 50 years down the road when none of us really, well, maybe some of you, may still be here. But, so that was kind of his recommendation, is that we go that way. The roof gets tore off down to the plywood base, put the insulation board on there, then put the fire rated gypsum down, and then the new roofing. So one of the things that he is doing is still about 2 weeks out is the actual bid, if you will, on the roof. Everything up there would have to be replaced. I think if you get, there's a couple of pictures that show our venting being rusted, our wheels, a lot of stuff is is bent. It's just in bad shape. As you can see, the bigger problem on the whole roof is the fact that our seals around the perimeters and almost all of our penetrations through the roof, all of that stuff's coming up. Could we get by if we had to? Yeah, we could go up there with a wheelbarrow load of rubber cement and redo everything. I'd probably hire a contractor to actually do that. Do we want to do that? No, I think why we're in this mode, we've moved this far ahead, is that we take a look at replacing that roof if it's within our budget to do so. So if you look at all the pictures and stuff, they're talking about crickets. That's a little black bug that's on the roof. Now, everywhere there's a drain in our roof. Oh, you don't believe me, huh? Believe it or not, there's some little black bugs up there. The crickets are the rises in the roof in the center, because you guys, the roof slopes to the middle. All the drains in these roofs are in our hallways. And so the cricket on that particular roof is a long V that comes, or diamond that comes up, and it directs the water to the drains. One of the problems you'll see is a lot of our drains are holding water on the roof, especially on the back end of the building. It's been that way forever. I go up and sweep the dirt off of it. I'm sure Dave did the same thing back in the day to maintain that so there's not water. But the water never ever drains completely off of the roof to the drains, because our drains are about 1/4 inch high. And so when you see in your notes there that when he puts the 1.5 inch insulation on there, that drain will remain down and it will be below the roof. So the crickets will force the water to actually drain off the roof, and we won't have standing water. Just the sheer volume of maintenance has been done on that roof, and all the patches, which exceed 300 patches on that lower roof right now, is a testament to how hard we've worked to keep that EPDM going. So it's as you can see, he wants to replace everything, but it's going to kind of be up to you guys to make a decision about what we're going to put back on there. Whether it's going to be the slip stuff, the Sitka, or the fiber tight. He did not mention EPDM, the rubber roofing. The one thing he talked about is that there are contractors in the area, and when I say that, I don't mean this area, that do roofing, and possibly Huntsman does, I don't know, that deal with these 3 products that they have. So that's kind of a bonus. On the internet, I mean, there's some big buildings out there with this PVC roofing on them. I'm talking thousands and thousands of square feet, auditoriums and hotels and things like that, that this roof has been on for like 50 years. So, and it's still going. And maybe they don't have the climate. The other reason that he wanted to go with the 80 mil is because we do put a snow blower on our roof.
What's the white stuff?
TPO. It's kind of similar. It's polyvinyl chloride.
Cause that looks thicker and it's really slick.
Well, yeah.
I heard of this,
Well, yeah, then it will be, and this other stuff will also be white, so, or yellow. Kind of whatever you guys choose, I guess, but anyway, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I mean, you can browse through all of that and get further into it if you wish. And if you have any questions, shoot them back at me. Would I step out of bounds if I talk shortly about the projects you voted on last time? So we have the septic system scheduled for the break. We also have notified and talked to the cooler people. They're looking at that same time frame, but I haven't pinned them. This one's pinned. This is gonna happen. So the cooler is still up in the air, but I think we're looking at spring break to put that project into. Stairways, oh, the Vista. That's coming along great back there. It looks good. We just have a couple of safety issues that we gotta get by before we can start using the stairs. However, they might take just a little bit of time to do because we have to have some steel galvanized and things like that. Is that correct? Is that how you see it?
Yep, just a few lingering sharp edges that need to get covers on them before the kids can use it.
How's it looking
And
back there?
a gap to,
Yeah.
that we wanna tighten up so that nobody sticks a leg through it, but yeah. It looks great. If we have an earthquake, that's where we need to take the kids is under that over-engineered
All right.
staircase, yeah.
Any questions?
Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I do have a few questions. You said, they're getting to work preparing the bid. You mean putting together bid specs so we
The
can
bid
put it out for
specs
bid?
so that you
Yes.
could put out, yeah, that was.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
that I will, when I get a hold of that, I think probably it'd be prudent if we wanna get within the time frame that we're working on before, June is out, then we might have to do a special meeting, but I'll talk to the boss about that. And again, that's still a couple of weeks out before we have that in hand.
Yeah, we'll go out to bid, yeah. So
Yes.
along those lines, there needs to be some definition put on how we want to spec this. So I think some of the recommendations in here, we need to make decisions on so that they know how to put this out to bid, right?
Yeah, like price point, length of,
Well,
how durable it's gonna be, so on and so forth.
And I will talk to him again tomorrow. I informed him that I was gonna do a presentation this evening, and I'll put forth some of those questions, like, when I look at the PVC, the Sitka roofing, that seems to me that the 50 years stands out. It's like, we don't have a lot of money to do one of these every 25 years. So, maybe more expensive. How much more expensive than some of the other ones? I'll see if I can get a handle on that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's, I guess for me, that would be the main thing is, let's figure out price point and see what we can actually afford without, trying to put another levy out to the voters or whatever.
And keep in mind, this guy is not the roofer, so I don't know how close we can get to an actual price without putting bids out. But I see what you're saying is like, yeah, hey, say we go with this product.
So
What do you think
he's
we're
not
gonna
a
be?
roofer, he's just the guy that inspects.
We,
it.
by Kellerville, we have to have an engineer
Okay.
write our bid, so that the bid goes out and people bid on it, and it's a closed bid, and then they submit it to the school, and then we open it up in a public meeting, and then we go from there.
This is what this company's recommended we do to them.
Yes,
Yes.
this company is our engineer.
Okay.
And that's important, that he has no skin
Yeah.
in the game, he's not gonna be bidding on the work. So
And-
we're paying him for,
Exactly
Yes.
what he did.
and
Yeah,
did we have in the contract for them to give us an engineer's cost estimate for this?
We
See what
had,
Michael's getting at?
we had, an estimate up front of
4,500.
4,000, yeah.
No, for an engineer's estimate of what the actual work is gonna cost.
No, I don't have a number, not yet anyway.
yeah, cause
And
just,
maybe that'll come out in that other, but I don't think so. I think the other one's gonna be, hey, here's what you need to bid on.
Yeah, and then honestly, okay, maybe this is just my simple brain, but this company cannot give us an actual amount of money that it's gonna cost because he's not doing the work. The other companies are doing the work. They're going to submit, they're gonna give us, this is how much it's gonna cost my company to come in with my labor costs, my contacts for all the equipment and everything like this. He's just giving us what we need to put out to ask
Yeah,
people,
so they
can
need to
they
see
do this job and get to it?
Right, but I mean, I think the main question here is what material we're gonna use,
Right.
because therein lies the thing. I mean, you know, you hire a contractor to resize your house, and the labor might be kind of apples to apples, but whether you put like a fiberboard on there, cedar, a tin, you know, whatever, you know, a lot of times the material
It's
itself is going to make a really big difference in your overall cost. And I think that's kind of what we need to dial in next, right? Is that where we're getting at?
I think from your point of view, yeah.
So,
Like I say, I've already made a decision about the product I think that would be best to go with.
would be the
If you
50
wanna,
year stuff, yeah.
I would suggest that maybe for your own selves is like take those products down there, those 4 that he's talking about, or 3 that he's talking about, and take a look at, because there are some cons to the Sitka, and it talks about it being extremely cold and it breaks. It's plastic.
Yeah.
It's PVC. Do we get that cold? I don't think so. Because they have this stuff in other states that are way colder than we are. But the fact that the fiber type PVC only lasts 15 to 20 years bothers me a lot. Because we're a long-term school when it comes to fixes. So if I said that, that would need to be kind of you guys' decision. And there's also maybe that he could put those 3 products in his bid specs for bids to come out with all 3 products. That he says that he has full-time technical staff, not him, but the roofing companies employ local full-time technical staff that is independent of the sales staff. So
this is why I would like to see an engineer's cost estimate before we put it out to bid. This speaks to what Mr. Mercer is talking about. They can provide where we have a better idea of what things are gonna cost, and we can look at budget, and we have a sense for that before we ever put it out to bid and have 3 companies bid on something that we never could have afforded in the beginning, or conversely, the opposite, right? And so that's where in this contract, I would have liked to have seen that included, to have this engineer's cost estimate come back with this to help inform the decision before we then pay to put this out to bid to multiple companies.
let me address that with him tomorrow.
Yeah, he may still be willing to do it.
It might even be in there.
Cost is cost, but if we go the cheap route and go back at this table again in 15 years,
Well, yeah, but
Well,
that's.
you will, I'm not going
well,
to.
no, we won't be, but still.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that therein lies the thing. Like, if it's something we can afford that gets
Yeah.
us for like 35 years, versus something we can't afford that gets us 50 years.
But we still
It's
need
kinda
all
what
the
I'm looking at.
information, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, yeah, anything like
Product
this, there's
should-
typically like a
But the
cost per
of the
square foot.
product is not gonna raise the cost of the labor on it. I
No,
mean,
no,
it
the
should
cost of the labor is
yeah,
going to
just the
be-
product.
Well, ideally, the cost of the labor is going to be like an apples to apples comparison, but sometimes it's not. Some materials absolutely suck to put down, and they
Yeah,
take a
take
whole
more
bunch of
time.
extra man hours in there, and that's kind of the whole thing that we need a little bit more information concerning what material we want to put down and how many man hours we're looking at to put it down before we actually try to make a
You guys
decision
won't
on
be
the
able
type
to
of
afford
material.
that EPTM because it's a fastening system. You won't be able to afford that system that's up there now. No way. There's no way you'll afford that.
The EPTM, is that what you
Yes,
said?
the system itself is set up there. You won't be able to afford it. That was a very pricey.
Very
project.
labor intensive.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like 300,000 or something.
It was pricey.
He's just talking, we can't.
If,
Well, let
if
me-
I was to say to do something, ask your engineer to go A, B, and C. Here's the top of the line, here's the medium, here's C, what can we afford? And you're gonna get 20 years out of any roof you put out there. Proper proper maintenance as far as the preventive maintenance at the end of every year going through and tightening up the corners and resealing stuff is where you just save your roof. And that's every year you have to do that.
There are some maintenance issues that crop up with the high-end stuff. Everything takes heat. You don't put, most glue-down stuff won't adhere to it. It has to be heated down. So, I mean, there are some maintenance issues there, but I would invite each one of you to take a few minutes out of your day and look at those products on the internet, kind of give you an idea about it. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. The changing out the wood blocking, adding the insulation, which should help. A little bit on the electric bill. It will eliminate the cold transfer from the nails, which are that big around, down into the building, because the nails will be in the foam and the fire rated gypsum will be over the top, and then we need to decide about what product we want to put on top. I'll email the guy tomorrow and get some more information.
Yeah. When you get all the information back, maybe we can do a special board, because we need to get this out to bid as ASAP. So you guys have all been informed that we need to have a special board meeting ASAP as soon as we get the information, so.
Yeah,
I
didn't
need
Rick
at
Balls
least 5
just
of you.
lose the school roof
Maybe.
yesterday?
The Great
Oh, yeah,
Falls.
Lincoln? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The whole roof.
Yeah, Lincoln
Lincoln and
Elementary.
Great Falls.
And Dan, thanks
Well,
for,
Lincoln Elementary.
great
Great
job
Falls
navigating
was
this.
the one that, it was the Lincoln Elementary. that
Okay,
the whole
Mr.
road went
Ramsey,
on.
yes.
we need to talk about
Yeah, that was
process on this
yesterday
one
or
still.
Not right, not really, because we can't go any further right now.
No, past process that wasn't followed on this one.
Well, we're in his report, so.
Unless there are any questions, that is my report.
Okay, Mr. Eric would like to address this.
So, this is an interesting one, and I don't like how this was done. I don't think it was a good, choose my words carefully. I think it should have been handled differently. So appreciated that you brought this forward, recognizing you have the authority because of the cost of this to move forward independently. But I think as soon as you brought this to the board, and we made it a board issue, and we chose to table it last meeting, and the reason we chose to table it was we wanted more more information before we were comfortable developing a contract on this. And then next thing, not only is there a contract signed that we never reviewed, didn't review the scope, which to my point on the engineer's cost estimate, and then now the work is done. So it's a tricky one. I understand it was under the discretionary amount, but I believe once it becomes board business and we tabled it, then nobody has the authority to move forward without the full consent of the board.
And I actually take blame on that, because I called Kelva when I seen the contract and asked her if we needed a special board meeting, and she said no, so I give Mr. Ramsey full reins of it, so that was my bad on my part.
I think it was, I mean, we needed it.
No, but when Eric asked the board for a specific thing, it should have just been a special meeting and everybody could have looked at it and everything. But with the cost and the time frame that we were on, that's why I reached out to Kelva and got her guidance on it, and she said with it being under the discretionary of it, that, and it wasn't, it's something that we had to have done. So, it's not Mr. Ramsey's fault, it's my fault,
Well, that's the cost right there, isn't it?
yes.
I've seen Whitesell spend a lot more than that on stupid.
The superintendent has the authority to spend 10,000.
Yeah.
That's not what Mr. Oldenburg is saying. He is saying that we directly, as a board of 8, decided to table it.
So had he never come to the board, there'd be no complaint other than, well, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? You know, if we didn't think the right information was in there.
I thought we just tabled to put it out to bids. I didn't know to get it looked at.
And that's where this whole thing is a little confusing, because there's a lot of steps and a lot of things involved, but yeah, that we specifically tabled this part of developing a contract with the engineer, because at least as one board member, my take was, didn't have enough information to make a decision at that moment in time.
But then how are you gonna get the information if we don't
get the report.
That's what,
How are we gonna get the information?
Yeah.
Well, so like defining the scope of what we're approving, we can't approve something that we don't understand. So there was no real scope. It was getting all of that together and then putting it back in front of the board was. And this is, this is, in the minutes, this is
Well,
what
I
we
thought this is
approved
what
last
we
month.
were approving.
No,
So
okay.
we-
We put together
Hold
what
up.
we were gonna have the consultants do.
This-
That's what we tabled.
And
'Cause we
this
wanted
is
the scope.
what I should have presented to the board, cause this is what they sent Mr. Ramsey and Mr. Dan and myself, so. And like I said, I just reached out to Keleva when I seen the price scope, and I was like, I know we have a policy, and we're on a huge deadline and steps from the lawyer. I felt that it fell in those lines, but I did ask her, and she said yes. But we specifically asked for this to be presented to the board, so as the board chair, I should have just had a special board meeting and presented this to you guys. That's what Mr. Oldenburg wanted, so.
Doesn't it go to co-chair also?
It only came to me because I was here the day they got it.
Okay.
Normally, this wouldn't even come to myself, it would have just come to Mr. Ramsey and Mr. Bledsoe, because they're the ones in contact with this company, but I was here.
so you're
And
just
so
saying we should have voted.
If you weren't here,
Yes, then let them
what
do
would they have done with
$4,000 worth of work.
He has the authority
Go
to
look
approve
and
it, he
give us
probably would
this.
have done the same thing I did, I just
Okay.
took the initiative to call
Yeah, the way
Kelly
it shook out,
to
yeah.
verify.
But there was stuff in here that is not in this report that we would have liked to have seen. That's all.
And I mean, it's similar to these other ones. We should not, we have the responsibility as a board to vote on things that we understand, not things that are not defined. And I think, so that's with a lot of these, just working through how do we get the right information to the board so that they can make a good decision? And making sure that we're doing that,
But I did
with
get
anything
it verified
like
by Keleva, which we made a policy of, so.
My apologies.
It was a confusing thing, but it's a good opportunity to check in on, this
The
type of
correct,
thing.
on the preferred process.
Yeah, and it is a little gray, but I do believe that once it's come to the board has made a decision, then nobody, not superintendent, not board chair, not any one board member can circumvent it at that point. It's the whole board's decision at that point.
I would have to agree with that.
Anyway, sorry.
No worries.
Okay, moving on to item 4, consent agenda. To expedite business and board approves the use of consent agenda, which includes these items considered to be routine in nature. The consent agenda will appear on regular agenda following approval of minutes, previous meetings. And item A through C, can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve A through C.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Miss Amy, can we do a voice roll call, or? I'm just gonna
Discussion
jump
first.
all the way through, yes, please, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna, public discussion. Okay, board discussion.
All looked good to me.
Anybody have any questions? Miss Amy, did you have any questions? Hey, Miss Amy, can I get a voice roll call vote, please?
Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Byler,
Yes.
trustee
Wait.
Manning.
Miss Amy, I'm sorry, it's Trout Creek sustain, I did it back. No, mine
You
mine
said
says,
accuracy.
yeah, but see.
No, D is the Trout Creek will abstain,
Okay,
because that is
thank you.
elementary only, this will be the full board.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, trustee Byler,
Well, I got lost there. Yeah.
trustee Manning,
Aye.
trustee Mercer,
Aye.
board chair Miskowitz.
Aye.
Vice chair Oldenburg,
Aye.
trustee Ramsey,
Aye.
motion carries.
Okay, can I get a motion for item 4D, approval of elementary claims and payroll with Trout Creek sustaining?
I motion to approve, elementary claims and payroll.
I second.
Public discussion? Board discussion? Miss Sammy, can we do a voice call, roll call vote?
Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Manning,
Aye.
trustee Mercer,
Aye.
vice chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
Motion carries with Trout Creek trustees abstaining.
Okay, moving on to item 5, discussion. Just to let the public know that this is for information only, so I will not be taking any, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to Mr. Ramsey and he will get back to you. Can I get a motion for item 5?
You don't need a motion for discussions, I don't believe.
And for in reference, this goes to, if you guys wanna look it up on your computers, policy 3530. Mr. Ramsey, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so trustee Bosker contacted me, a few weeks ago, wondering how the board can help, get the word out about the athletics fundraiser we've got. It's open until, I believe it's March 20 or April 29th. And just getting the word out, whether, how to advertise it or market it to the public. And some of the ideas I had was, to create like a one-page athletics fundraising summary or an infographic or something that's available to be posted onto social media, should people want to do that. Are those kind of some of the ideas we discussed, or?
Yeah, you put in some of the numbers. I feel like I talked with a couple of people about, well, how much does the refs cost? And so I asked Tammy for the numbers and discussed them. I don't think people understand how much. I never would have thought the number was this big. And I think once you see it on a graph, but then, just handing this to people, that's why I reached out to Mr. Ramsey, like, what could we put on there to show, hey, we spend $16,000 on refs alone and gas, just something to kind of show them, because I feel like some of the older people, that when they realize how much we actually have to spend, they're more willing to help, because they want the kids to be able to play the sports. Just like when we got the baseball going, I mean, one older lady bought the uniforms in a snap, and then the basketball uniforms, the lady that bought those. I feel like if we had some kind of graphic or something to show them with some numbers, not all of them. So I asked him if there was something we could come up with to kind of get some more help with the fundraising and be able to give it to the old people when we talk and look at it, rather than, hey, can you give us some money on this Snap app here?
I mean, I like the idea of showing how much it is for refs and certain things, but I think on the opposite side of that, it is gonna deter people from wanting to give money when they see how much it is.
You think it's gonna deter them from wanting to help when it's so much?
I mean, I think we're gonna get both sides of people.
Yeah,
We're gonna get
definitely.
people who want to help
The
out,
reason-
and then we're gonna get people who are like, that's absurd, I'm not supporting that.
Yes, I asked, I did have an elder lady ask me, well, how much do you pay? I'll see what I can do. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know exactly how much it is. And then I was like, wow. And I was,
I think if they get to see all this presented in person, when I do fundraisers at the fire hall, anything, first thing I check with the old people is, we need to see it, because we don't Facebook. And when I let them see it, posted all over the towns and stuff, they get excited to see it. But I think too much information.
yes,
Even my uncle, he's a supporter, and when he starts seeing figures, he'll balk.
that's why Mr. Ramsey had come up with some
Hey,
ideas
we need money
to
for
just like
baseball. Leave it at that.
consolidate it, but put some numbers there for them to see of, oh, wow, you guys really are spending some money for these kids to play these sport. Well, the whole town is, all the taxpayers. And I think it's really important that we do help, and I was keeping track of the fundraising, and I haven't for the last couple weeks, but it kind of went stagnant there for a while after.
Yeah, I think
Did it
it's
get
at
over the
about-
2,400?
I think it did,
Yeah.
But if you
but
do
not
footwork,
much. It's still
No.
under 3.
So if we're trying to get to 15, we gotta market it.
but footwork is, I mean, that's where I make my money at the fire.
Oh yeah.
I hit business, I hit them, I just.
And that's what I
just
want, is
hit 'em.
footwork with something like this,
Yeah.
not always on the phone.
Just not so-
Something to take
not
out
so elaborate.
and talk to the people
I
and
would
sit
think.
down, have a cup of coffee, let them look at it and be like, we need some help, and just, they really liked, like, when the board did the concession stand, it showed them that we're trying to help as well. I've gotten good feedback on that. And the raffle basket. So yeah, I was hoping, Mr. Ramsey, if you guys, but I didn't want, obviously asked him if he would talk to you guys all, bring something, or agree on something, let him come up with a graphic that's appropriate to be able to show and try to get that 15,000.
See, like that, so like if you would present it in person, something different, like to Ronell Helbert, cause she handles the firemen, she would look at it and then she would contact the firemen and they would say, yeah, they need money for baseball or referees. They're not seeing no figures, and most likely 90% of the time, people are gonna say, yeah, but I wouldn't wanna see all them figures myself.
No. I was thinking maybe like the ref
Especially when I'm
and
already
stuff.
paying two taxes. I'd rather not see them.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I think it's great to be thinking critically about how to reach all corners, people that are exposed to certain things but not others, and vice versa, and how do you...
Well, like the parades and stuff, the guy that runs the park is like, Jim, you gotta make flyers. There's too many old people that will read the newspaper and look at a flyer.
Yeah.
They're not on Facebook. And I'm good with footwork, so if you want some help, I'm good with that.
Well, and I emailed some people, the first one, and one gal, she says, I need to send a check, give me the address where to send a check, I don't do the online, so.
So the QR code's awesome for a lot of people.
Hey,
Other
but
people,
some people look at it and they're like, what is this?
I'll throw it in the garbage.
So some sort of graphic to share around.
I can put some things together.
And then after the deadline, is it gonna restart? Can they restart it if we don't hit the goal and keep going through the summer?
I think so. Is Corey still here?
No.
She left.
So what's the goal?
It was
15,000.
15,000.
And we're a bit under 3.
And, sorry, I should know this. Is Booster Club the...
No,
The-
this is just for
The
athletics.
athletic fundraiser that you've been seeing go around.
Right.
So-
But Booster is not behind that effort.
No, I think it's Mr.
It's
Davis.
Mr. Hayden's, the
It's
athletics.
just, okay.
So this is, now we're on this funding the sports, I got a question. I was told that somebody from the ambulance service donated 5,000 for specifically for sports this school year. It had to go for sports like the buses. Busing. The Elks,
I don't
the Elks
recall
Club.
seeing you.
I was about to say,
That was
Okay.
our check last summer.
Okay.
For the Elks or Masonics,
The
or
Elks.
they were closing
Yeah.
the club down, and that is specifically to help clubs with transportation, not
Yeah.
just sports, but clubs and sports, and it is being used for that, it's got its own project recorder code, it's being tracked very carefully.
sorry, my computer's just being funky. Okay, any further discussion on fundraising?
You got the kids helping,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's under their names, you sign the account and then they
but
share
are they
it.
out doing any legwork like
Well, that's the thing, it's all
car
online.
washes?
Yeah,
If
I
we
was
get-
thinking like
if-
Devil Day or something would be kind of cool.
If we get a
like, they
graphic
did
to send the
something
kids
like
out, that was another,
Or like they were out doing stuff in the community.
A lot of
Yeah.
other schools, you
Same.
see them posting, they're doing car washes.
It's muddy season, car wash would
something.
be pretty handy.
I still like the idea of us doing a board fundraiser too. You never talked about it a little bit.
It would be good for us to get involved again, I agree, but I haven't really seen the students
Yeah.
do much of it.
No,
And they're the ones that it's for.
And that's why I grumble a lot of times
Good
on
point.
senior stuff. You got the other kids doing it, well, come on, this is your graduation, get out there and do something.
Maybe a car wash was a good idea.
Car wash or door-to-door information.
Something? A showcase?
Maybe with that flyer, all the parents with their kids in sports can drive around and the kids can talk to.
Maybe they can be the refs for an adult game or something.
Well, it shows they're interested, they're interested in the funding of it.
Yeah.
Not just playing.
Alright, moving on to item 7, we have no old, or number 6 is old business, we don't have any actions items at this time, so moving on to number 7, new business action items. A, consider approval of trustee notice of intent of a non-voted levy resolution, followed by adapting of the SB 307 during the 2017 Montana Legislature School Boards must adopt the notice of estimated increase in several non-voted levies for physical, what is that? Thank you. Year of 2027, which begins July 1, 26 by March the 31st of 26. If we anticipate an increase to adult ed, bus depreciation reserve, transportation, tuition, flexible funds, or building thank you, major maintenance levies over your current year's funding levels, a prerequisite to doing so is the board's adopted to publish of a notice no later than March the 31st. The superintendent will provide us more background details for tonight, and I need to solicit a motion. The motion is to adapt and publish the notice of intent to increase non-voted levies resolution as presented by the superintendent. Can I please have that motion? Okay, I make a motion to adapt the publish and notice of intent to increase non-voted levy resolution as presented by the superintendent. Can I get a second?
I second.
Thank you. Mr. Ramsey, give us background and then I'll ask for public comment.
So this would be, the notice of intent for to increase non-voted levy. Cost of things increase. And we have to pay for those, so.
You want me to provide some information
Sure.
how we come up with those numbers?
Yes, please, Miss Amy.
Okay, so there are spreadsheets, worksheets, guidelines that you follow based off, these are the miles that you need for transportation to get kids to and from school. That is the only thing transportation pays for, is getting children to and from school. There's no sports, no clubs transportation. And you do an estimate of this is how much we pay per mile this year, this is what we estimate the increase to be. You have to figure in if the cost of fuels go up, that you budget enough money within your transportation non-voted levy to cover those anticipated increases. You always estimate high. If you do not need all of those funds, it is then reappropriated back to the taxpayers. So every year, the past 4 that I'm aware of, there has been money reappropriated back to the taxpayers. We didn't need it. What we present here in the spring are just estimates. The actual budget that has been approved in August is generally lower because of the reappropriation. Then at that point, you're at the end of your fiscal year, you know, okay, we're June 30, we didn't need this much in transportation, we didn't use all this in adult ed. or tuition, and it is then reappropriated back to the taxpayers, and then you go from there as to this is how much we need to figure for the next year. So you always budget high to make sure you're covered. If you don't budget high enough and transportation ends up costing more, then that has to come out of your general fund budgets, which is what covers wages, the light bills, the everyday run the building expenses. So this intent for non-voted levies is only for these funds that are flexible, reappropriated, any money's not used. I don't know how else to explain it, does that make sense? Are there other questions?
Before we go into discussion, let me open it up to public comment. Do we have any public comments? Please stand, state your name for the
David
camera and
Smith.
for the,
How much money is transferable back in an estimate? Each year, if you're going down on numbers as far as kids, and your number of staff is going up, it doesn't have no applicable to that, right?
As far as transportation,
Right.
these items
These are
on
all
here,
transportation ones, right?
it doesn't matter how many kids are on the bus, you still pay an X amount.
Okay.
That is
So-
correct. Adult ed,
So when the price of gas goes down, we're reimbursed, you're saying?
it is reappropriated back to
To-
the taxpayers.
How?
And so then
How?
the next year's budget, it's like, okay, we need this much, but we only spent
Who's next year's budget, yours or
the schools.
Okay.
The school's budget. So say we ask for $125,000
Okay.
for transportation.
Okay.
We only needed 100,000.
Okay.
25,000 then is reappropriated back to the taxpayers, and that is deducted off then the amount that you think you are going to need from for the next year.
Okay,
So, now this year, we think we're gonna need $50,000.
okay,
We didn't use $25,000 from last year.
Right.
So now we are only asking the taxpayers
Again,
for
my question is-
$125,000
Yeah, I get-
instead of the $150,000.
I get that, but you're saying each year it goes up. You said that earlier, you overestimate as far as what you need.
she said
And
we
then it comes out of the
always,
general budget to pay for if you don't.
If you do
you're under.
not estimate enough
Right.
for these other funds.
Okay, again, my question is, how is it reimbursed to me as a taxpayer?
You,
And
then
if I
you
sit
would
at the
not
table,
pay as much the next year.
it's-
It's not
I'm still gonna-
reimbursed, it's reappropriated,
what I'm
that's
saying is-
different than.
I know, but
Okay.
I've never,
well, hey,
I know, but I'm
okay,
asking a question.
hold on.
They go up.
Your question, she has answered to the best of her ability.
I know, but what I'm saying is this, my taxes last year were 51% going to schools. Guess what my taxes were this year? 51%. So it doesn't go down, is my answer.
They don't. It just,
Yeah, it keeps going up.
they don't go
We're
down.
all,
when
we're
you-
all taxpayers sitting at this table.
That's what I'm saying, I'm bringing it to your attention, everybody,
So what I'm saying is, okay, you said it was
But that's just for
51%,
transportation.
51%. But the
Goes to the
cost
school.
for that transportation went up this year.
right,
But your tax is still only 51% because we didn't use it all, it was reappropriated back, so it didn't
the year
go
before,
up
the other
another
year
3 or
was-
4%.
What I'm saying is the year before that, it was at 53% or 54, then they came back as far as with the state. But go ahead, I get, it. We're talking,
We may not be
it's, I
talking
know that
about the
$100,000
same thing.
is pretty small. Okay,
That
that's,
was an example.
okay, so this is just dealing with this,
And maybe the people at the county could explain the
Right.
whole tax process
okay,
better.
then I'll ask.
That's what I was gonna tell you,
Okay.
is Miss Tammy is
That's-
giving you the best thing that she can, and I was gonna recommend you call the county and see
Alright,
if
I
they
will.
could give you a better
To answer your
definition of that.
question
Yeah.
better than I can.
I will.
Any further public discussion?
That's for the whole thing, for the, notice for intent
Yes, sir,
to do a non-voted levy.
yes.
And that's just for the transportation?
It's for,
those things,
it-
those are the,
But
what you're
there's
looking
other
at.
stuff in
Yes,
there too, 'cause
exactly.
you said
No,
building
exactly.
maintenance and all that other
it
stuff.
is,
it's all listed on here, Dave,
That's building stuff on,
the building reserve,
okay, how
Yeah.
much is, the building reserves on there?
yes.
I don't have my glasses. with me.
Oh, okay, yes, it's all on there.
And how much is that, since I can't see, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't have my glasses, I can't see.
Did anybody see what the number is?
Looks like for this year, is that the 12,
So the question would be is, how much of a mill levy are you looking for on a non-voted levy? Number one.
Yeah,
Number two,
12,252.
why are we offering this as a voted levy instead of a non-voted levy?
okay, as the Senate Bill 307,
It's by 31st of March, I
Yes.
get that, I heard that part.
Okay.
Why wasn't it put onto a non-voted levy and now or onto a voted levy? Why wasn't that recommended? Cause we talked about this last year, we had
They're
talked about.
totally different.
I know what I'm saying.
I'm just following the Senate Bill 307, what is
Right, but
dictated for the
What
board
I'm saying is,
to,
we talked about this last year as far as the non-voted levy, because we had, the first year out, we had the non-voted levy, the second year out, we had a non-voted levy, that was approved. Then we had a voted
levy
levy, the
for
elementary,
technology.
yeah, for the elementary, it was approved, the high school was disapproved. And then you came up with another non-voted levy, which I was talking about last year, before the last superintendent left. Now we're talking about another
we
non-voted
talk about a
levy.
non-voted levy every year.
This is just the taxes that we pay. The non-voted levy is just like our taxes that we pay, like that 51%.
Non-voted levy is saying that you guys are gonna spend money. 'Cause you
A
need-
non-voted
you need a
levy
septic
tells you
system,
what
need
we're going to
you need
spend
a
the money on.
refrigerator, you need, how much do you have in your building reserve fund? You need a roof. So
Michael, can I sit up
I'm
real
saying,
quick? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I think you
gonna, I'm
need
going
come
to
in and talk
answer,
to us on a non-board meeting, so we can get you those
that's what the
numbers.
board's here for.
I
Tammy.
understand you're passionate, but you're also talking over everyone that's talking, and it's very disrespectful.
Thank you for cutting over me too. No, I'm bringing, as a taxpayer, I'm bringing up an issue.
okay,
And you can cut me off if you want, but I'm just saying, I'm bringing up
I'm
an
not
issue.
trying to cut you off, I wanna get you the right information at the right time,
That's all I'm
okay?
asking for.
So,
Does anybody
the
know?
building reserve for,
And how much is the building reserve fund right now?
this is the number, right? That's the adapter.
Yeah, for high school.
Yeah, for a high school is $91,544.67. For elementary,
How much money can you put in a building, I'm sorry, how much money can go into a building reserve fund for a roof or for the septic or, can that transfer each year?
No,
It's
sir.
one shot deal? Okay.
and for the elementary, we have 1,228. Yeah, $122,801.05. And no, if we do not spend that building reserve, it goes back into the taxpayers.
Okay,
Okay, and then what we pass on the non-voted levy is what we get in here for our budget.
okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah. No, I just don't wanna see my taxes go up.
No.
So can I just try and offer some clarification?
Please.
Thank you.
So technically at a board meeting, we're not supposed to engage in a back and forth.
Right.
It's a meeting that's open to the public, not a public meeting. So we shouldn't be engaging in dialogue. The
Right.
purpose of public comment is for you to tell us how you feel about something,
Yes,
not to get questions answered.
okay,
However, I'm don't proclaim to be an expert. I would be happy to meet with you anytime between meetings and let you share your thoughts, explain what I think I understand, and
Okay.
talk through. I'm sure that most of us would. I think that would be a lot more effective for you to get the answers you're
you're in
looking
the
for.
phone book?
He's
I can
also
go
got
there.
his email too.
Okay.
I can give you my number after the meeting.
Same thing with you.
Yes.
Okay, well, cool.
And anytime you have questions, you please feel free to email any of us and Mr. Ramsey as well.
All I know
His
is
door's
I've
open.
called several people as far as after meetings and it's like, nobody ever calls back, so I'll leave it as it is. It's just my personal experience. I had one person call back after our last thing we had, out of the 9 or 7 members.
Give me a call, I guarantee I'll call you back.
Thank you. I'll stop by and see you.
Okay.
Fair enough. Thank you, guys, and I apologize for being forceful.
No, it's,
Thank
I
you.
just don't want my taxes to go up. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Board discussion. Or any further public discussion? Okay, board discussion?
I don't want my taxes to go up. I'm paying 2 school taxes. Chalk Creek and I say shut down Chalk Creek, bring them here. That's what I got to say.
that's not the
Sorry.
task at hand.
I think we all.
We're going to stay on point tonight. Do we have any questions about the non-voted
Yes.
levy?
So the number's much bigger because we have more students, is that what I'm understanding?
No, we ask for more, but by the time we get our budget, it normally is lower by all the figures
I just
that
don't
come
remember it
through.
being that much different. Last year, they were a lot closer.
So
That's what I'm wondering, is it because we have more students? When we looked at the 24 to the 25 last year, the
It's
numbers
not-
were a lot closer. Like the 258 to the 338 last year, because I remember specifically asking Tammy and she explained to me how it works, so I just thought, that's kind of a little bigger jump.
yeah.
But I was thinking it was because we're up in students and we were down so far. And it goes from last year with the number.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll stay.
Transportation does not change regardless of students. You still have to run
Yeah.
those buses so many miles regardless of how many. That's in anticipation of
Gas
what the
prices.
increased rate will be for transportation services, fuel prices, etc. So transportation is its own piece, does not matter.
Yeah.
We don't have bus depreciation, tuition, that is part of the increase, and that is the change in the state laws that every student that we have that goes to,
That we have to
say
pay.
Thompson Falls, we have to pay Thompson Falls a tuition fee for those students. Trout Creek kids who come here, we get paid, it goes into your general fund.
But we
It's
still
a
have
wash,
to pay
but
for
it's not a
everybody.
wash because you still have to pay those tuition fees out of the tuition budget. The tuition budgets also are dependent on how many one-on-one kiddos you have in district that needs one-on-one paras. That can be funded out of your tuition fund. So you take in, okay, we anticipate we're gonna have X amount of kids that are going to another school, we've gotta pay that, we've got X amount of kids who are going to need one-on-one para. What rate do they make, what's the cost going to be, and that's how you come up with your tuition anticipated numbers. Can change,
Yeah.
so then that would change. Adult ed, this is totally adult ed. These mills are for the adult ed program. That is the only fund that covers instruction, any expense that correlates with adult ed.
So I think one important way to look at this, so I pulled up last year, this exact same thing we got last year. And so I look at what was our projection, what were we being requested of this time year last year, and then on this sheet you can look and see what our actuals were last year. And so like for tuition it was 96. I think it was pretty much the same thing that is being requested this year, whereas we spent 73 of that. And transportation was kind of similar in that regard. So
Okay.
when you go, yeah, I think there's a little bit of increase. I'd be a little worried with gas may get us in trouble
Exactly.
with the price
And
of
you
fuel.
know the
but,
price is going to go up for rate per mile.
yeah,
It's
but that
every
to me that really helped perspective was
Yeah.
comparing what was asked of us last year versus what was actually used. And then I do believe this is pretty well in line with how we did it last year.
That's what I was curious with the one from last year.
That one?
Yeah, nothing jumped out at me as
Building reserve is more because we are anticipating,
well, but
we wanna get this roof done.
we had
we're asking
39,000
for
in there last year for
max.
building reserve,
Right.
and ended up being 18.5.
Right.
So thank
And
you
then the
for-
state matches, so your building reserve doesn't come totally from taxpayers, part of it is also a state match and
Right.
all these other layers that go with it, that's why we have 90,000 to work with in high school instead of the 30 or whatever, because all these other pieces come into play. But you still only have until June 30 to utilize that. It doesn't carry over year to year.
Sorry, I'm a little slow, and I think you already said it, but I still don't totally understand because this is a weird approval to me because we technically formally approved things in October.
All we're approving is to put out the notice of intent for a non-resolution, like this just has to, for publication.
Right. This is us approving putting it out there
Yep.
for public digestion.
Yes, that is it.
It's not actually approving the budget. We
No,
do that.
No,
This
that's
is
not-
just for publication.
Right.
Thank you, Annie.
The full budget approval is in August, which then that
Right,
includes, now we know what our general fund budgets are going to be, we
Yep.
know what our other budgets are going to be, we know what our mill values are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just to let the publication, the public know this is,
Put a mark of X on our backs.
And you have to estimate high, because if you don't estimate high enough and approve, this is what could be the possible highest, then when you do the budget, and it's like,
Right.
uh-oh, we are going to need more than what we've done the intent for in March, you can't ask for more than
And
You
we
could
have
not
to go
approve.
forward with
that budget for more than what you do right now.
And if I'm right, this is pretty prescriptive, right? You have worksheets that help you determine what needs to
Transportation
go here.
worksheets, you plug in your
It's
numbers, your
not-
miles, it's not a,
It's
oh,
not
this
Tammy
is,
and Joel.
It's not
Well, that
speculative.
sounds about
We're
right.
not-
it's not
We're not throwing
speculation.
darts.
Right.
There's tuition worksheets to go through. Adult ed, that is kind of, but then it's like, okay, this is how many classes we offered, this is the result of our adult ed, this is how much it cost. So do we wanna keep our adult ed program where it's at? Which, that's what we've left it, is where it has been, and generally there is some money to reappropriate for the next year's round.
If Mr. Smith gets a hold of you, please give him my number. I'd be happy to talk to him.
Yeah, sure.
Unless you can
Don't
answer
the
all his
phone.
questions.
Oh, nobody ever called me.
okay, so can I please, Miss Tammy, can you make a record at 7:34, Miss Annie?
Have to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I please get a roll call vote, please, Miss Tammy?
Yes. Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Byler,
I'm abstaining.
trustee Manning is gone, trustee Mercer,
Aye.
board chair Miskowitz.
Aye.
Vice chair Oldenburg,
Aye.
trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries with trustee Byler abstaining.
Moving on to item 7B, consider approval of 2026-2027 school year calendar. This also reflects in our policy 2100, if anybody would like to look at that. Can I get a motion to approve the stated 26-27 school calendar?
A motion to consider approval of the 2026-2027 school year calendar.
Can I get a second?
I second it.
Do I have public discussion?
Who makes the calendar?
I'm gonna
Sorry.
give the floor to Mr. Ramsey.
Is it mine?
Yep, it's
Okay.
all yours.
So, I wanna tell you how a school calendar gets put together, both here in Oxon and statewide across the state of Montana. For our calendar, I work with the union. The union puts together a calendar committee. And we work collaboratively to put together the calendar. only the board can approve the calendar. The board sets the number of hours in a school day, the number of days in a school week, and you approve the calendar, right? So I, together in conjunction with the union, work collaboratively to put together this calendar that I can present to you. Montana is one of 12 states that does the school year by number of hours. Every other state does by a specific number of days or by a hybrid system of days and hours. Okay? Montana does only hours. For grades 7 through 12, or I'm sorry, the grades kindergarten through 3rd grade needs 720 hours of instruction. Grades 4 through 12 need 1,080 hours. Okay? Now, how you determine then what counts as an hour? This is 2 MCAs govern this. It's MC 20-1-101, which determines what hours count toward instructional hours. Or really, it's the way it's worded, it's what don't count. And then there's MCA 20-1-301, determines how many hours are required. Okay. Half-day kindergarten is 360 hours. We use that for our pre-K. Full-time kindergarten to grade 3, 720 hours. Grades 4 through 6, 1,080 hours. The time in the day that can be included in instructional hours includes class times, passing times, and structured recess. Okay? What does not count is lunchtime and unstructured recess. None of the MCAs define what structured or unstructured recess is. Okay? So we always plan for hours in excess of the required 1,080 to compensate for the potential delays or cancellations if we delay school, if we have to cancel school. That way, in the states where they build off number of days, they build in extra days, and if they don't use them, then it becomes break days. Here, we plan for more hours, and then if we have inclement weather, we've got our instructional hours covered. So this calendar is planned for 1,116.76 hours in instruction. Okay, and that is taken from a Monday through Thursday in grades 7 through 12 comes out to 6.92 hours. That's when we're taking out our lunch. Right? Grades 4 through 6 is 7.61 hours. Sorry, 6.71 hours. Okay, that's taking out lunch and a recess.
What is 6.7 hours? That's
The number of hours,
Instructional hours.
Monday through Thursday.
okay.
Okay. And grades K through 3 on Monday through Thursday is 6.46 hours. Fridays were a little bit different, where high school grades 7 through 12 it drops to 5.88 hours. 4 through 6 is 5.68 hours, and Fridays 5.43 hours of instructional time. So we add up all of those hours, we get 1,116.76 hours. I did a bit of research on a few of the other area schools. Most of them are less than this, right? So when you go and when you hear people talk about, well, Thompson Falls goes 177 days. Why do we only go 165 days? We're actually in school for more hours. Our students are in school for more hours than the students in Thompson Falls, than in Troy, than in Libby. Okay, so it's not much, but we are right in there, and we have slightly more hours. It was what allows us to have our hybrid every other Friday off. So when you're out in the community and you hear people complain, hey, you got those teachers got every other Friday off. We're in school for more hours than the other schools in our area.
So
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I've never seen the every other Friday off anywhere else. What is the advantage or rationale behind that in this case, instead of just making the school year a little bit shorter? That was negotiated with the union, or?
So the rationale is we don't do a 4-day week, we do a 4-day week every other week. So it's kind of to get people to come here and work here and
Okay, so
that
it's
kind
like
of thing. So it's an incentive.
It's an incentive, got it.
And also,
to do
it
that.
was to combat absence for doctor's appointments.
And sports activities and school activities on Fridays, and you don't have your building, we're going the same amount of hours, but if you don't have your building open on a Friday, you're not paying as much for electricity as everything else as you would be if you had it open on that Friday too.
But the school year is longer, so.
Right, but you're still, I mean, Mr. Ramsey's here early, people are here early, the
Sure,
lights are
right,
on.
sure.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
I'm just curious, thank you.
We're going. Plus, in our current CBA, there's a clause at section 10, right? That we're set at 165 days, and this is for the ability of the teachers to gain leave and whatnot. We can deviate from that 165-day calendar by 1%, which is about 1.42 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's we could set a calendar at 164, we could set it at 166, but if we go over that, then we have to renegotiate the CBA, that section of it.
Is there been any more talk with the 4-day school week that you talked about last year?
You're asking, yeah.
Both of you, I guess.
Mr. Ramsey and I talked about it. I think we've worked really hard to try and get this thing pretty consistent for the last several years and to stay every other Friday so kids know when they're on and off and parents know. And,
Yeah, I like it.
I think there's a lot of pros and cons for them. We've talked about that before. I think there's a lot of people for a 4-day and probably some folks against it. But that would have to be, like Mr. Ramsey said, that would change how
If we went to a 4-day, then in order to
We'd have
get
to
those
renegotiate.
165 days,
Yeah, a little
I mean, there's
quicker.
19 Fridays in our calendar, so we would have to extend another 19 days.
No.
Almost a whole month.
Right?
Or we'd adjust our school day too, so we could do it. We still have to renegotiate.
Right.
Cause in the CBA, your day ends at 4, right?
Yes.
Starts at 8 and ends at 4.
Yes. Okay. I like the every other Friday off. I think it's helpful. People can plan around it, and yeah, we've gotten it to the point where
Yeah, it's way more consistent.
it's a lot more consistent. You can pretty much. We're not getting the questions every week. Is there Friday this week? Right. So
What year did we start doing that?
the every other.
Yeah.
It was probably would have been about 3 or 4 years ago that really got focused. My first year here.
No, Mr. Martin, we did it with Mr. Martin.
I think it was more sporadic though, where we
No,
might
it
have
was every other
two.
Friday.
Was it?
Was it?
Yeah.
We've worked on it for a while, but
Yeah.
Hodson's been on a hybrid since, I don't know, 10, longer than I've been back. So it's
As
been.
long as I've
Okay.
had kids in school.
I've been
I have
back a lot.
calendars from early 2000s. You could really research it if you really thought you needed to.
So this calendar has got us starting first day of school as August 25th. Last day of school is May 28th. A week and a half of Christmas break in December. One of the reasons for that is December 22nd is a basketball game. And so we get more people here enjoying the basketball games when the school is in session.
So
And this accommodates all of your grant, the Reed's grant.
The Montana Reads Grant, we will be able to fit in our required professional development on science of reading through this. At least, we have the full 5 years of the grant to get that done, and so we'll be able to get portions of that done in this calendar.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons there's the PIR days on August 19 and 20 with a Friday off. That's when we could get side by side here.
I'm looking. That's frustrating.
What?
Last year's calendar must have been attached to the agenda too. I've got last year's calendar in front of me, this is what I downloaded.
Oh, I was
So
gonna
I've
say.
been looking, and I was like, no, Joel, that's the wrong number, that's the wrong number, and it's cause I'm looking at last year's calendar.
Was that attached to the agenda?
The only one I got on the agenda is this one.
Yeah, you got the.
What are you looking at?
I'm
Are you still looking at
the
last-
25-26 calendar that was
Okay.
attached to the agenda?
Maybe, was it the first version of the?
No, it was the second version. Yeah.
That's great.
But did you guys get it directly from OneDrive? Is that why you have it right?
No, I got it from my agenda.
Yeah, from OneDrive. Yeah. No, that's what we figured out. OneDrive is correct.
Google
The-
Drive.
Well,
Google Drive is correct. The link is.
I just got mine from the email Mr. Ramsey
Yeah,
sent
I
out.
just go to the email.
I couldn't find the agenda in the OneDrive. It was driving me crazy.
I can't find anything in there.
Now the
Was
OneDrive
last
is my
year's used
favorite.
as a template for this year's.
Mine's 26, 27. I just pulled it up.
Can I look at yours?
Absolutely.
Are you still on last year from looking at the
Yes, there
budget?
is one
You
printed
you
off
put
right
a, you
here.
put a paper copy in the
It's right
folder.
here. I got
Oh,
it.
what if I am in the old folder? Wouldn't that be funny?
Because you were just comparing from the when I asked the questions
Oh.
on.
Thanks for ratting me out.
You're in the wrong year.
I don't know. I was in my wrong folder. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I think he.
it's all right.
Oh my god.
We needed a break.
Gosh, I feel dumb now.
Not
It's
at
okay.
all.
I wonder if I did that on the other one also.
I'm wondering.
Now your numbers are correct, Mr. Young, just so you are aware. Well, that's good for me, I guess, because that's what I was gonna ask is what's different between this year and last year? So last year we had 1,108 hours
Yes.
budgeted or scheduled.
And one of the reasons that the previous year's calendars had a lower amount of hours scheduled is because there was one passing period that was being taken out that did not need to be taken out. The passing period from lunch to the next class was omitted from that calculation. The passing periods count toward instructional hours.
Okay.
Time spent in AT counts toward instructional hours. The only thing that don't is lunch and unstructured recess.
So is our recess structured or unstructured?
One
What's
is. It's
It
one of
depends on how
each.
close we get to the 1,080.
Oh, so then you call a
Then we
structured
call-
recess?
Then we call it structured
Okay.
recess. And what is a structured recess? A structured recess is you have a goal in that recess. Let's practice the things you learned in PE class. Go
Okay.
run.
Yeah, set teams and actually play kickball instead of just go
There you go.
go off and
Structured.
do
Ding
the
dong
thing.
ditch.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna go play kickball.
And we have had past PE teachers.
Who have done
Brooks
structured
Perry
recess.
actually, during their recess time, was out there with the elementary children doing structured recess. And organizing specific games and skills.
Any further questions?
You talked about the number of days in the year, we're 1% tolerance with the union contract.
Right.
Hours in a day, is there a similar deal in the contract?
In
for
the
that?
CBA.
Yes, because
Yeah.
they're, well, technically yes, because they had, their day starts at 8 o'clock and it ends at 4. So, and everything in the CBA is structured to how they earn all of that
Leave
good
and-
stuff, yeah. So technically yes, because they start their day at 8 and they end their day at 4. That is what the CBA still says right now. I was pretty sure it does, but.
Are we ready for a vote?
Okay, Miss Amy, can we do a voice vote?
Absolutely. Trustee Bass.
Aye.
Trustee Bosker.
Yes.
Trustee Byler.
Aye.
Trustee Mercer,
Aye.
Board Chair Miskowitz.
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
And Trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 7C, consider approval of reinstatement of board policy 3141. That is
To reinstate policy 3141.
second. A second. Public discussion. Okay, board discussion. And that is our out-of-district student enrollment.
Right, and that was, we suspended it, earlier in this school year, and just really time to tie up a loose end and get it reinstated.
I have a question, because I thought we couldn't reinstate it until the end of the school year. I didn't think that. Nope, not submitted by April the 1st, so that's the second date. So if we do reinstate this, then we will not accept any more out-of students after April the 1st. Am I reading that correct?
The April the 1st date,
Students who attend school within the district it's number 1 on, I don't know what, page 2. The second number 1. It says out-of-district students who
this is
are-
the district shall prioritize applications for the enrollment of out-of-district students in the following order. Provided the criteria established, so, students who attended school within the district the preceding year, out-of-district students who are currently attending school within the district shall submit an application by April 1. So that's just setting the order in which we will accept out-of-district students.
Okay, so, but if we, I don't know, for some reason I felt that we couldn't rescind this until next year, like it goes back in force for next year, but because we suspended it for this year, we couldn't reinforce 3141.
No, we can't, we can reinstate it. That April 1 is about, the out-of-district applications for next year.
Okay.
That we will be sending them out and start accepting them on April 1 for next year's out-of-district student attendance.
Okay.
For the students who are attending this year as out-of-district students.
When did you suspend it?
About 4 months ago.
Was it November?
I want to say November.
So I thought we suspended this because we wanted to not be so limited in trying to get some
New kids.
new kids in the building. So why do we want to reinstate it?
Yeah, that's what I was
We're
curious.
past our count day. We're past, the fall and spring count days.
So would we suspend it again next fall?
If there's a need, yeah.
Well, that's where I'm going. We don't want to just treat policy like an on-off sign. I think a better solution is to develop a policy that we actually want to administer. So with meaningful dates that have meaning, recognizing there may be circumstances that come up where we want to.
The dates in here are by law. Those are the new
Yeah.
tied to the tuition thing that goes for the out of districts and stuff. Those are the law dates that they said that we had to follow. So we have we can't change the dates, but we can suspend the policy. You see what I'm saying? Remember? That's why I was asking, because I know we had a start, like there was our first date and then there was our second date. So I thought since we already suspended it, that it had to be suspended for the whole year. And then next year we could implement it again. Like, cause it has to be implemented next year. We can suspend it if we need to again next year, but we have to implement it. And I was just asking for you guys to help my brain.
No, it's a workaround.
why do we need to do this? This is more about, for the 26-27 calendar year, suspending or reinstating
Yeah.
this.
For 26-27.
Well, I mean, for now, and
Okay, but if we implement this and then we get, let's just say we get a new person that comes to the area to Trout Creek and they want to bring their kids to Knoxon, then you have to bring a special board meeting to suspend this again. But if we leave it the way it is now, we don't have to, you don't have to ask us, you just
Correct.
have to put them on the out of district.
correct, but such a student is also past our count day.
But we still, regardless of the count day, we would still want that kid in a seat.
You can approve it.
That's what I'm saying. There's no real, lack of a better word, there's no real precedent for me
To reinstate.
yeah.
No.
Okay. It's just easier, we don't have to have a special board meeting to suspend this. If we were to get a trial.
Correct.
Yes, sir, Mr.
Can I ask a question? If we do this, then basically we're open enrollment, we have to accept anybody? Is
No,
that-
no. If we do this, we still have to do what the policy says, like, he would still have to follow his, his checklist, bring it to the board, and it would be in our red file saying what class that student it is, and we would approve them.
It's
But
for out of districts.
if we reinstated this policy, he has to get us, cause there's an actual date in here that we cannot accept any more out of district students. So if we did have a family show up in Trout Creek and they wanted to bring their kids here, we're closed. So,
Yeah, really, that is just out of district, so it's.
yeah. That's why I was thinking, I mean, if you, on your recommendations, you want to do this, that's fine with me. I just wanted to make sure my brain was
Yeah.
hearing it, so.
So, would that be your intention, that we do this a couple of times a year?
Well, once you,
Right. Suspend and then reinstate?
Right.
No, that's not the intention at all.
But it may be necessary.
Well, I suppose if next week I get an
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
district student who wants to, and then, yeah, we would have to reconvene and suspend the policy and. But we're here in, coming up on mid-March,
Yeah, I got you.
and the likelihood of that is low.
it's not unheard of though.
True.
Well, that's where I was going, is do we just wait to do this at the June meeting?
Well, we don't have to do anything at the June meeting, unless we wanna suspend it. And not have an open enrollment date that they have to. You see what I'm saying? Like that first date is like January something. Yeah, January the 25th.
For second semester.
Yep. Cause your first semester would be April the 1st,
No.
right?
No, the first semester date was September 10.
Why is that not in here? Cause
It is.
It is.
It's at the
Yes,
top of
September.
that paragraph.
where do you see
But
September?
you recommend this and don't anticipate it being heartburn, so that's.
I don't
That's my
anticipate
takeaway.
I don't anticipate having that issue. no.
Okay, I see September 10th. I was
And the April one is
for next year.
for the out-of-district students that are now in attendance. We will be sending out these forms for them to get filled out and get returned for next school year.
Okay.
That's your earliest you can accept forms for the next school year. Is that
Gotcha.
April 1?
I'm excited. I don't have to do one no more.
Yes.
That'll be a ninth grade.
Yes, that is correct.
Little things matter in my life.
It's the little wins that make
Yep.
a difference.
Absolutely. We've been paranoid that, or I should say she's been paranoid that she was going to be accepted, that mom was not going to fill out the right paperwork.
So I'm good with this. I would throw in one plug. I think we really need to get an
Revisit.
official official board policy book to the entire board like a week ago.
Yes, I completely agree.
And so I think if we need to put our heads together to make that
I will-
happen, we
I will come in next week and I will sit in a corner somewhere and Miss Hammy can show me one good time of how to implement that policy, the new policies that we did in November and December, and then the
This
policy.
is one of them, it's done.
Yes,
I did.
and then it will be in the drive, and then everybody can have their own policy book because that's all we have.
so everyone can have the standard official policy.
Yes,
Okay,
the
so we're
current.
close, is what you're telling me.
yes, we only have to in a working document implement the changes that we just made from November.
This is November,
Yeah, that's it. And I will come in next week, Miss
I
Sandy
took
and
it off
Mr.
the chart.
Ramsey, and
Oh,
I will
okay.
do that one because I know you guys
Zero
are
battery.
extremely busy, and
It's a corded laptop.
because I'm here on the 12th anyway, so maybe I can do it that day because I'm only here half a day for pictures.
Okay.
So
Thank you very much, I just,
give me 2 weeks.
no, I appreciate it, it's important, you gotta have it.
Are we ready for a vote?
Any further discussions? Any other questions? Okay, Miss Hammy, will you do a voice vote?
Trustee Bass.
Aye.
Trustee Bosker.
Yes.
Trustee Byler.
Aye.
Trustee Mercer.
Aye.
Board Chair Miskowitz.
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
Trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
That's my call. Okay, moving on to item 7D, consider approval of winter session concession advisor S. Brown. The district policy 5120 directs that the superintendent is responsible for recruiting personnel and compliance with the board policy and for making hiring recommendations to the board. Tonight, he needs our help approving the recommendation of Miss S. Brown for concessions.
Can I provide information on that, Mr. Ramsey?
Can I'll give you a motion first. Can I get a motion to approve S. Brown for winter concessions?
I approve.
I second. Okay, Miss Hammy, now you can give us information.
Okay, so Miss Sheila Brown has done winter concessions for us. When she was approved last September, I believe it was, or August, as a concession advisor, it specified fall concessions. Because the stipend is paid out in two separate stipends, the fall and the winter. She was approved as fall concessions. I took that as the whole year. So then I will look through the rest of our minutes since then and realize we never did approve her for the winter concessions.
Can we correct it? Okay. Would we like to correct that and have concessions for a full year instead of splitting it into two?
That's part of the CBA
Thank you.
guidelines as far as extra stipends and stuff, so we need to keep it separate. I just need to make sure she is, or
Okay.
whoever is doing it is approved for each piece.
Okay. Any public discussion on this?
Bam,
Any?
she's already done it.
She's still got a little bit of chunk left.
No, winter concessions are done.
Oh, so what about?
I need to be able to
spring?
pay her.
That is
Aye.
right. I forgot we're going into spring
And
sports.
there are no concessions.
I support it.
Not even for baseball.
Let's vote to pay Sheila.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please
That's
pay
okay.
Sheila.
We
Okay,
voted.
can we please have a roll call vote?
Trustee Bosker,
Yes.
Trustee Bass,
Aye.
Trustee Byler,
Aye.
Trustee Mercer,
Aye.
Board Chair Miskowitz,
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
Trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
All motion carries. Thank you.
Item
That's my
7E, consider approval of out-of-state travel. This refers to policy 2320. Can I get a motion to consider approval out-of-state travel?
I motion to consider out-of-state travel.
I
Can I
would
get it?
second that.
Okay, public discussion?
Softball's going to Sandpoint March 29th.
Why are they going to Sandpoint?
Play a game.
Oh, Never mind, they're in Thompson Falls. I was like, have we ever played Busy Sandpoint? But never mind.
Closer than most of the other venues.
So
Yeah.
for a co-op, Thompson
Is that-
Thompson Falls board and our board have to approve.
Yep.
Out of state travel.
And if we don't approve it, then our 7 girls don't get to go.
It's closer than some of our industry games.
Yes, it is.
In fact, closer than most.
Ever.
All right, further discussion?
Mhm.
Is this their only one that they're predicting so far?
This is the only one on the schedule.
Okay. Miss Amy, can we do a voice vote, please?
Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Byler, trustee Mercer,
Aye.
board chair Miskowitz,
Aye.
vice chair Oldenburg,
Aye.
trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Is there anything left on the table that we need to discuss or need to know about? Any timelines?
Yeah.
I'm asking a question from all of you guys sitting on the board here.
Not that I'm aware of.
Timelines?
Is there any additional paperwork for those of us whose seats were up this year? That needs to be
Nope,
completed?
you'll do your oath when the county comes in and has you do the oath in front of the board.
Cool. So that's all.
In May,
Great.
yep, we are good to go.
Cool. Thank you.
So they've already done the running unopposed, so we will not pay for an election stuff.
Correct. Just pay that little-
Copies of that notice.
Nobody wants this
So-
position.
Well, how many positions do we have? An oxen and a Trout Creek, or?
Yes, and they're not
Massive
officially
list.
open, or the Trout Creek is, they're not officially open until we redesign the board and the chair, makes the motion to, have that.
Post those positions.
Thank
and-
you,
and-
Okay, so somebody
And
can't
appoint.
go
Nope.
tomorrow and apply.
The election has, they, have already submitted all of their forms.
So is the May meeting the reseating of the board meeting?
Yes.
And that's when we redo chair and vice chair as well.
Yep, the William and Mr. Eric will do their oath. We'll take pictures, post it on
You're
our
treading on
Facebook,
thin ice
and
now.
then, we'll redesign the board.
So how did you guys redesign the board last time? Did you just be like, hey, I wanna do it, or did you talk amongst each other to see who wanted president, vice president, like what's the?
I think I jumped right in immediately and nominated them both.
Okay, so we're gonna have a little more respect for the board itself. I don't wanna rush into it. I think, well, whoever makes a motion and then the board votes, and if you don't wanna vote for that person, you say no, and then whoever gets the amount of votes.
Do people look around the table and like, hey, do any of you guys want president?
Normally,
Do we get like a
I
consensus
said-
from?
It's the person.
it's this first person that comes. Unfortunately, that is the way that the policy is.
Yeah, if you open your mouth quick. whoop,
Yeah,
it's-
Can you nominate yourself?
no, there's no rule against it.
I'm just wanting to make sure we get our.
But
Game.
let's
I don't think I understand.
You,
okay, so when you come into the board, you do your oath, then
Reseating the board,
we're
yeah.
reseating.
Yep.
If I'll use Mr. Jim because he's the one who did it last time. He says, I make a motion that Amber is the chair. Then we get
I
a
see.
second and
I
then
see.
we vote. If the whole board says yes, then it's done and over. If the board is split, it fails. If
Not an election.
And 3 years ago, I will use myself as an example. 3 years ago, I declined. I
Mhm.
did not want the board
Mhm.
chair because Mr. Pafford was still on the board and he had a lot more experience than I did that could lead us better.
Mhm.
So I was nominated and I very politely said, no, please don't vote for me.
It's tricky because last year, I forget who it was, all they did was, we didn't even talk about it, was he opened his mouth and it was over.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I
So,
was wondering.
I mean, it
In
was
the
quick.
past,
Second
in the past, Mr. Pafford has proceeded to tell me when I was on the board that if you were interested in the seat, to put it out in an email so your board knows, and give a what for why before. That's how he's done it. There's no policy against it, and there's no policy for it. So
It just can't be a dialogue.
I don't know, Miss
I
Hammy,
think you
can
just
there
send it
be dialogue?
individually.
Okay.
No,
So,
no,
Just,
No
that's what I
dialogue.
do.
No, no, I'm
Be
not. I
safe.
just was curious how that worked.
Do you wanna be president? Well, we need to know.
I'll make it known
Most people don't
that,
wanna be on the board.
that
let
I
alone
will
president.
do vice chair if nobody else wants. If someone else would like to do it, that would be wonderful. But I will do it if nobody else wants to.
and I will publicly let it know that I would like to be your chair again if you guys still want me.
You're on thin ice.
Anybody else want
I live on
anything?
thin ice.
No?
Do you?
No, no. I got a full-time job
You
too.
can be appointed
I
back
asked
to the board, Mr.
Annie
Mercer.
before too. She's busy. She's got her business. I just would like to know,
Yeah, absolutely.
who is feeling what before we just like go into this. And I've heard about the previous Johnny on the spots and nobody
And
knew
that's
what was
policy.
going on. Yeah, but I think it's fair
Thank you
that we
for
all know
explaining
how
that.
this works.
Yes.
No, and that's why I'm sorry it's not on the agenda. It's not something that's ever been done. But usually we can't sit around and talk to each other until ask questions as a board. So it is public record that we're having this conversation,
Yeah.
and I think it's important.
I do too.
Absolutely.
What happens faster than you even know it, you don't even know what happened.
That's
I mean, I
what
thought we
I've
was having a
noticed.
conversation.
I'm like,
it
what
was
just
over.
happened?
So, and also on the policy book, do you guys only want it in our drive? Because it will be in our drive.
I want a paper copy.
I would also love a
I
paper
like to
copy.
see them.
I don't
Okay.
even got a draft.
I have the old one, but I guess an updated one.
Okay, paper. Okay, Mr. Oldenburg.
Good. It's just electronic.
Okay, because it will be always in our drive, and Mr. Ramsey will have. I'm not technical savvy on that
Okay.
one, but if you show me, I will know. But
I'll show you which policies I've already gone through.
okay. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.